In this week's Warriors Profile, presented by Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, Jim Barnett sits down with NBA legend Paul Silas and his son, Warriors assistant coach Stephen Silas, after a recent practice.
Well, Stephen, we had a chance to sit down with you earlier in the year and talk to you, and now what a pleasure it is to have you back with us, seated next to your father, Paul Silas. And Paul, I'm going to ask you something first about Stephen. You got to be very proud of what he's accomplished so far at this young age.
I really am. You know, he started out with me, of course, and learned his craft very well because I made him my scout first, and then assistant coach scout, and then assistant coach. And what he's done, he's learned his craft very well and does a great job. A lot of people say a lot of good things about him, and that's what's most gratifying to me is other people that speak very highly of him.
And then, Paul, you won 3 championships. What has that given you? What kind of perspective has that given you? Because a lot of players go through this league and never get a chance to have a championship.
Well, it's very special to me because, as you say, not too many players get that honor of having a championship. I have 3, and I'd like to think that the one in Seattle was most special because I was older and I was the guy that everybody leaned on. I understood what it took, and I had wonderful guys around me, Jack Sikma and Freddie Brown, Johnny Johnson, Gus Williams, all those guys, Dennis Johnson.
Yes.
All those guys, I led them to the championship, showed them the way, so that was really special. But to me, they were all special. Winning a championship is the most gratifying thing I've ever been through. I remember after we beat Milwaukee, and Dave Cowens and I were in the shower just standing looking at each other, just in amazement. Can this really happen, especially against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who at the time, you know, we just, it was just great. It was the most unbelievable thing you've ever been through.
And I know you were born in 1973. What is your first recollection of your dad as a player?
I'd say my first recollection is when they lost the championship in Seattle the first year. They, I believe it was 77-78 season, right. And they played the Washington Bullets in the finals and lost the finals that year. I believe it was in 7 games. And then the following year was when they beat the Bullets in the finals in Seattle. So I remember being in the parade and going down and all the confetti and you know, just at that time I was like, wow, you know, hey, we've been in the championship series 2 years in a row. This must be easy, you know, but now that I'm a coach, it's pretty tough to do.
Now in your mid-30s. Now your father coached in the NBA for a long, long time. The Clippers in San Diego, also Charlotte, Cleveland. Do you have aspirations of becoming a head coach, or is that something that you just don't even think about and just do your job daily?
No, I definitely have aspirations to be a head coach in the NBA. You know, that's part of the aspiration, and you know, part of the goal setting and goal achieving that we always have in our family. You know, so if I'm going to do something, I want to be the best, and I want to do it to the highest I can. So to be a head coach is definitely the goal.
And Paul, you're not over the hill yet either, because I know you're only a year older than I am. So you know, I read somewhere, but would you ever like to get back into coaching?
You know, at this point, I would love to coach again. You know, I have the ability to bring a team up that has not done very well, or either take a team that's doing well to the next level. You know, the confidence that I have in players and they have in themselves, I think is what enables me to be a good coach. I love it. It's not out of my system right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's great to have you two together. It was great to play against your dad for so many years. Fortunately, I didn't have to play his position, and I want to thank you both for joining us here on the Warriors Weekly Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Warriors Weekly is brought to you by Esurance. Warrior fans, go green and save money on your car insurance at esurance.com.